friends, another Thursday, another Inside Star Citizen. The last one, actually, of the season. So we'll finish this one, and then we got 4 weeks until the next one. But for now, let's see what they've got for us to finish us off this summer. Kinda summer.
With bombs, we're trying to create that element of excitement. There's an offense and there's a defense strategy.
Ooh, that looks cool.
Bombs give a really kind of mental way to kind of start that battle.
No. That was a freaking huge explosion. Holy crap. What are we going to do with these? Oh, this should be interesting.
So if you go to a particular location on the map, let's say, and you bring some friends, you know, they basically set up a tank around an area. You know, we want players to be able to attack that, so they've got a reason to defend it. There's also the NPC side, which is we've got bases now with the ability to have ground turrets on them.
Okay, we got missile turrets.
Guns, but also missiles as well. And they can be quite effective at kind of keeping players out, but we want something to counter that. And a way to counter that as a rather fundamental force is a very large bomb, which can kind of push through some of those defenses and give players the other advantage, which is you can come in, you can bring your big ship in, you can, you know.
Did that feel like it was falling really slowly? Guessing that's just like the moon's gravity.
Something to counter that. And a way to counter that as a rather fundamental force is a very large bomb, which can kind of push through some of those defenses and give players the other advantage, which is you can come in, you can bring your big ship in, you can, you know, you can bomb some of the early defenses, and then you can use some of your smaller ships that you have with you, you know, to kind of get in there and to take that ground location away from them. We wanted bombs to come in with a really big impact. We wanted a big ship that could carry a big bomb. You know, the A2 carrying the size 10, it basically, you know, allowed us to do that. We didn't want a guided bomb or anything like that. We wanted to give you like a high-tech solution to the targeting. So, you know, although you've got this...
Sorry, is this a new version of the Grimhex song? Or am I just remembering it wrong?
We didn't want a guided bomb or anything like that. We wanted...
I like that.
To give you like a high-tech solution to the targeting. So, you know, although you've got this massive, powerful bomb, we wanted there to be some skill in trying to hit the target with it. So we put bombs in an operator mode, which is very, very similar to missiles, apart from when you have bombs selected on your ship, you will get your bomb UI. We've got the visual space in front of you, which allows you to see where your bomb will drop if you drop at any point.
It's gonna go up.
But we've also given you an option to create a reference point, and that will allow the UI on the hood itself to tell you where to move to. And then when you're flying towards this, it'll tell you whether you need to speed up, move left and right. And then as you move towards it, you'll see a circle. And this gives you the reference point of where the bomb's going to drop. You'll see a...
Okay, so that...
To tell you
so that circle
where
is
to
what you
move
want.
to.
You can mark that.
And then when you're flying towards this, it'll tell you whether you need to speed up, move left and right. And then as you move towards it, you'll see a circle. And this gives you the reference point of where the bomb's going to drop.
The goofy part is that you still have to be pointed at the ground because of the way this targeting works. We need something, we need that, you guys remember that landing 3D interface we used to have? We need something like that. We can't just like fly with our starlifters pointed at the ground, try to bomb things.
Drop. And then if you get it right, and if you get the timing right, depending on physics, and if you've got any wind or anything that could affect it in the time as well, it will drop within that point that you've referenced. But in some future patches, we're looking at, you know, supporting a full bombing station on the A2, for example. And this can include things like, you know, a remote camera looking down at the bomb, which will hopefully, in terms of our goals with this, is to move the advantage from the pilot being the person that controls the bomb to the bomber station, you know, because we want people to have these roles on these ships, you know, that really make a difference.
Whoa. That was a cool shot.
So, even if you're not within the blast radius of the bomb, you've still got a chance of damaging and hurting players within the vicinity of the physical blast itself as well. So that's you've got to be quite careful because it's quite a big radius. So make sure you release it at the right time. But apart from that, have fun blowing stuff up.
Really? Who didn't? Who even spent the time on that? I gotta say, I don't really care that much about bombing as a feature. It looks okay. I don't think there's gonna be much use for it now, but it'll be fun to experiment with at least. We'll see how that turns out, I guess.
This first iteration of bombing aims to bring functionality to the upcoming Hercules A2. And like all features, we'll continue to evolve and iterate with testing and feedback from you before rolling out to other spacecraft that can make use of this potentially devastating new feature. And speaking of the Hercules A2, it's set to arrive in the upcoming Alpha 315, so let's go ahead and take the last few minutes of this quarter's last episode to take one more look at what all is making its way to the persistent universe in the patch report. Let's begin right at the very top of the list. Alpha 315 is more than just another quarterly patch. When this one drops, it'll be the biggest step yet in realizing that vision of Death of a Spaceman set forth at the very beginning of the crowdfunding campaign. And that begins with everything under the umbrella of Healing Tier 0.
Excited.
It starts with the addition of downstates. No longer will every ding and scrape a player gets send them directly to death. These downstates allow for and encourage group participation so that players can better keep each other in the fight, picking each other up and pushing forward like it's Black Friday and the store just got 3090s back in stock.
Oh no.
And when they are picked up, players may discover new injury states like broken arms and legs that impair their ability to fly or otherwise traverse the universe. And that's where the healing namesake of the feature comes in, with the ability to administer treatment to players and NPCs alike. It'll be a big change to life in the verse, certainly not one that makes life any easier for our spacefaring adventurers. But this challenge and others coming down the road should lead to a more complex and rewarding gameplay experience for all when all is said and done. And speaking of challenging experiences, the new Inventory Revamp is here! The new Inventory Revamp is here! With the death of global inventory and the implementation of local to vehicle to external to personal inventory, the planning, considerations, and ultimately choices we make as players have never been more important or impactful to our gameplay experience. What's my stash like on Hurston? Do I have enough ammo on Microtech to do what I want to do? What planet did I leave my multitude on? Did I leave my keys in multitude? Here? As with healing, tactical decisions are now coming to the forefront of life in the persistent universe. And between the two, who and what you bring with you becomes the essential question before any new mission or adventure. But two other new features arrive with Alpha 315 to help with your inventory needs. The first being the Knickknacks Asset Manager, essential to helping you track and maintain where everything you have in the verse is stashed or located. And Loot Generation, to help when you find yourself alone in the barren wastelands of Hurston or the magnificent desolation of Yila. Loot Generation works with the external inventory system to give players more reward for their increased risk in the field. And it's just one more way Alpha 315 looks to reshape daily life in the persistent universe from this point forward.
I'm glad it's starting,
and when we talk about increased risk in the field, we have to include the new Infiltrate and Defend missions, with new tactically based objectives like having to avoid security for completion.
That's a good strategy.
Or attacking players can't kill any defenders. Or classic defend objectives like repel all waves or prevent the destruction of an item or person. These new mission types have a variety of modifiers to keep things fresh, and will continue to evolve beyond their initial implementation in the upcoming Alpha 315. Of course, if increased risk in the field isn't your thing, you can take to the skies above in the new Hercules A2 from Crusader Industries. First vehicle of its kind to use the new bombing mechanics showcased earlier to safely deliver death and destruction from far above the chaos below. Plus, the A2 just looks cool when it makes the big boom boom.
It does look cool.
In 315, it joins its C2 and M2 brethren to complete the Hercules line of stunning behemoth monsters from Crusader Industries.
That's the angle I wanted to see it from.
Of course, how safe the Hercules might be up in the skies might depend on 2 additional ships coming later in the Alpha 315 branch cycle.
There it is.
Including the Ares
There's your delay, folks. It's the Ares Starfighter.
Starfighter and Redeemer. Whether they attack or defend, they will certainly be looking to bring the pain when they arrive, and we'll be talking more about these 2 in depth when we get closer to their intended release during Alpha 315's Intergalactic Aerospace Expo event. Outside the...
Okay, they just cut out a ton of... they just cut out a ton of words right there, but I'm assuming that also means the Redeemer is being delayed as well. They didn't even... They just straight cut something
attack
out
or
there.
defend, they will certainly be looking to bring the pain when they arrive, and we'll be talking more about these 2.
Yeah, he was going to say when they arrive, and then he probably said something. They cut that out, and then he said something about the Redeemer that also got snipped, but I'm assuming the Redeemer is also delayed.
In depth
Probably
when we get closer to their
315.1.
intended release during Alpha 315's Intergalactic Aerospace Expo event.
Yeah, so in November.
Outside the Precision universe, or perhaps deep inside in the fictional game within a game, Arena Commander's Broken Moon map is getting a makeover with new tech and features that have come online since the original was first introduced, including a more diverse and expansive map space and an improved scoreboard UI created in building blocks for faster performance and improved maintenance ability going forward.
Can we see that scoreboard?
Flash,
We
no,
didn't.
not anymore.
Okay.
Bam, 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 bam. Of course, back in the persistent universe, let's look at all the new places you'll go in Alpha 315, including the new Crusader Showroom on Horizon.
Ooh, they
Crown
serve
jewel
drinks.
showcase of the entire Crusader ship line. It's your one-stop shop for the best-looking spacecraft in the galaxy, where you can pick up the Mercury and Hercules right away, the Ares when it comes online later in Alpha 315, and then one day, my favorite ship in the galaxy, the Genesis Starliner. Someday.
That's not supposed to be the front of the
Then again,
Starliner,
who
is it?
flies around in stock space?
I actually don't.
Favorite ship in the galaxy. It comes online later and
No,
pick
that's
up
the
the Mercury
Starlifter.
and Hercules right away.
No, the Starlifter
Favorite
is
ship in
pretty
the
wide.
galaxy,
Oh,
the Genesis Starliner.
interesting.
Someday. Then again, who flies around in stock spaceships? That's where Cousin Crows comes in, also new to Horizon, where players will get the chance to trick out their spacecraft with new components
I
and
think it's just
libraries.
the location for now.
Well, we'll talk about what else when we get closer to getting there. But Cousin Crows, welcome to the verse.
Oh, you can buy
And
something
in places you may want
Maybe
to
some
avoid
things.
going, the variety of hospitals and space clinics arrive in Alpha 315 to put players back together when the worst of the worst occurs. These include new locations on Crusader.
there. What kind of view is
Together
that
when the
from a
worst of the
hospital?
worst
Look at
occurs.
this.
These include new
Look at this. Who gets to go to a hospital and see some freaking floating city outside the lobby? Come on. I want that. I want that.
locations on Crusader, Microtech, Grimhex, and a variety of smaller installations and space stations throughout the Stanton system. So what did we learn this week?
Not gonna lie, guys, if there is one thing that I'm okay with being delayed out of patches, it's ships. To be honest, if ships are the things getting delayed, I no sweat off my back. I'm glad that we're getting medical gameplay and the local inventory system with the new UI stuff. Even if the inventory UI isn't that great, to be honest, I'm not the most happy with it. It's gonna progress, it's gonna improve, and I'm just happy to have that functionality and that gameplay there. So not like the most exciting episode of ISC. We got to see bombing and we got to see what's coming in 315, which we mostly know, but it's just nice. It is nice to see this patch coming through. And honestly, if they're able to do something, I don't know what, we'll find out with CitizenCon, but if they're able to do something on the back end, whether it be some Gen 12 stuff, whether it be some iCache stuff, I don't know. Something that helps a little bit with some of the performance issues we've been having and 315 comes out smooth, it's going to be a good quarter. With the new dynamic events, the new game systems, new gameplay opportunities, a fresh wipe, like it'll be a fresh quarter if they can get performance down. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope they can do it. But this is it for the quarter, guys. I will see you again, I guess at the end of next month. We'll be past CitizenCon. We'll be looking towards some new dynamic events and IAE. Until then, though, see you on the main channel, see you on the stream, see you in the podcast. Bye.